Total Excellium, the fuel that cleans your engine kilometer after kilometer. Total Excellium, the fuel that cleans your engine kilometer after kilometer. Total Excellium, the fuel that cleans your engine kilometer after kilometer. Total Excellium, the fuel that cleans your engine kilometer after kilometer.
And to the man K-O-J-O.
Good morning, Bernard. How are you?
K-O-J-O.
Yeah, what about Bernardine?
K-O-J-O.
Full name, no.
Kojo Akoto Boatin Joseph.
It is Joseph, not Joseph.
It's amazing, eh? People's English names. How are you doing, guys?
We're good.
We are good.
Today is practically Friday.
Yeah. Oh, tomorrow's a holiday.
Yeah, tomorrow's a holiday.
Oh, back at the Salah.
Chale.
Fantastic.
So
and so we're
today is
coming back to
Friday.
work on Monday.
Rana Sala, ya Keiko,
Oh,
Alajin,
Rodu.
Badi.
Charlie, no, I don't know the song. I don't know the song, Charlie. I don't know the song.
How about this one? Kuzumi Wasa.
I'll play it for you soon.
The meet to know. We are registering. No Edidija.
All right, so we want to just go into the newspaper headlines and then jump into interviews and that kind of thing. So AJ, Ghanaian Times.
Ghanaian Times, tragedy, 11 die, 54 injured in horrific accident. Government sets up 5-member interim management committee to run Ghana football. Deal with reckless motor riders on Salah, chief imam to police, and government increases student loans by 50%.
The Daily Graphic, World Cup kicks off today. Russia plays Saudi Arabia. Kofi Amwa heads football management body. Announced reports Nyantechi to Attorney General calls for investigations into his stewardship, and 11 perished in Suhum bus crash.
The Chronicle, NDC heads to Supreme Court over Ghana card. Girl denied BEC exam missing, and special World Cup pullout today.
The Daily Guide, Suhum road crash kills 10. Alpha Radio feds 3,000 orphans. Retraction, apology to Inis Afuseni. You remember the Shatawale story? The paper is retracting that story, and other stories on the front page.
The Today newspaper, more troubles for Kwesi Nyantechi, and 2018 FIFA World Cup kicks off today.
The Daily Statesman, 43% of all containers now cleared from ports in 24 hours. NDC boycott in $1 million con deal, and government names interim football management committee.
The New Crusading guys still serializing the expose number 12. So backdoor, how MTN FA Cup match officials and commissioner took bribes to destroy Kotoku Royals FC of Akim Odan, and greed. Imaginary Heart of Oak WhatsApp group determines downfall of Great Olympics.
The Daily Heritage, Bloody Wednesday, many dead in gory accident at Suhum Mankron. GIS launches 473 million Ghana cedi strategic plan for next 5 years. Inflation rises slightly to 10.6%, and jubilation galore as court throws out case against Manche.
All right, let
me give you the business newspapers quickly before you go.
Okay.
Cap 30 to drain state of 1.3 billion Ghana cedis in 2018. This is the BNFT. Single window showcased on World Stage, and more guidelines on corporate governance coming. Bank of Ghana. And if you go to the graphic business, trade agreements too narrow and hasty. Yal Graham, and strengthen corporate governance in operations. BOG charges savings and loans company.
CitiNewsroom.com. Minority heads to Supreme Court over Ghana card registration. Suspending presidential staffer to police foot soldiers is wrong, according to Professor Asari. Kofi Amwa Abedipele, others to manage Ghana football, and Mahama mocks Baumia over CD depreciation. Other stories on that website. Divorce petition leak unfortunate. Pray for us, Oyelitha. And treating emergencies without beds is complicated. This is Oko Boy. Moving to citybusinessnews.com. Sales revolution starts today. Future of Fintech Summit comes off later in the day. And oil refiners in Africa push for uniform pricing. We're also told drop in cocoa prices will not affect Ghana, according to Ghana Cocoa Board. My Joy Online. If telcos can protect information, Kelny GVG2 can. MP rubbishes breach of privacy concerns. Also, NIA sued over voter ID exclusion in Ghana card registration. And the contest that ended as a warm-up, Konongo Dumase SHS sound title warning, with victory in a contest in the science and math quiz. Guys, let's get into the details now.
Okay, so we'll give you the Kofi Amwa story. Big story on the front page of the Daily Graphic. Kofi Amwa heads football management body. The story says that the government has, pursuant to the injunction placed on the GFA last Tuesday, set up an interim management committee to oversee the administration of football and other related matters in the country. The committee members are Dr. Kofi Amwa, who will chair the committee, and Mr. Kujo Fiano as secretary. The rest are Mr. Abedi Ayo Pele, and Reverend Osei Kofi, both former Black Stars players, and Miss Eva Ochre, a football enthusiast and legal practitioner. Peace FM's Dan Kweku Yabua will be the spokesperson of the committee.
Still on this issue, but a different twist. Probe Nyanteche for money laundering, Anas petitions BOG others. Now, this story we brought to you on Eyewitness News yesterday. Investigative journalist Anas Arimea Anas has petitioned the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Financial Intelligence Center, and the Yoko to institute a full-scale investigation into activities of embattled GFA boss Kwesi Nyanteche. Anas wants the probe to focus largely on Mr. Nyanteche's stewardship of the GFA and Fountain Savings and Loans Limited. The journalist wants Mr. Nyanteche to be investigated over some money laundering claims he made in his latest investigative documentary titled Number 12. And then he adds a dossier of things around money supposedly paid, letters written, and other issues surrounding money laundering.
Well, in the Today newspaper, more troubles for Kwesi Nyanteche, also related to money laundering. So it's clear the troubles of the embattled former president of the Ghana Football Association, Kwesi Nyanteche, are not ending anytime soon, as all banks in the country, as well as non-bank financial institutions, have been asked to furnish the Financial Intelligence Center with specific information. The financial institutions are also requested to provide the same information on the GFA. The Financial Intelligence Center, established to protect the economy and particularly the financial integrity of Ghana, suspected that Mr. Nyanteche may have been involved in money laundering following the expose into endemic corruption in football by controversial journalist Anas Arimiyao Anas. So the CEO of the center, Kweku Dua, in a letter dated June 11th, 2018 to the banks, stated, pursuant to Section 28 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act 2008, as amended, kindly furnish us with the following information on subjects and any other connected accounts, and they've been asked to send soft copies of the requested documents to the CEO by close of work today, Thursday,
So
June
they've started
14th.
working on the issue.
Yes, let me take you to Suhum. On the front page of the Daily Graphic, we are told that 11 perished in Suhum bus crash. The Daily Guide also has the story and says Suhum road crash kills 10. Now, the story says 10 persons died at dawn yesterday in an accident involving 2 commercial buses at Mankron near Suhum in the eastern region. The Kia Grand Bed bus with registration number GSA3516 was said to be traveling from Aflao in the Volta region towards Kumasi in the Ashanti region, while the other bus, registered GN660017, was heading towards Accra from Techiman in the Bono Ahafo region. According to initial investigations by the police, 6 men and 4 women, mostly traders, died on the spot, while 33 others reportedly sustained various degrees of injury. One of the buses was said to have been laden with clothes, the police said.
Is the Suhum road finished? You know, the Kumasi Accra road had portions done which were dualized and others were singled.
It's not finished.
But this road is almost 10 years old.
Yes, we need extra funding to complete that particular.
So the
project.
overpass near Suhum, has it been done?
The overpass is done and not done because we are not using it.
Because, you know, every year we go to Suhum for our Easter Orphan project.
Yeah.
And we keep... It's really sad.
We need
I mean, I'm not saying it's because of the road or anything, but to think that this road has been in the works for like 10 years, it's not really right.
There's a lot more to that road. And Bernard, the number says 10 people. 10 people have died on the road again.
10.
With the Ghanaian Times, is now 11.
We are
one
losing a
person
lot of
has
people on the
added.
road. You know, when the Ebony thing started and the Ebony thing came up and we had conversations and all that. And recently there were some accidents, and then the government set up a fund for road safety campaign or something. We are still not seeing action on that front.
All right, now NIA's big story. Minority has to court over Ghana card registration. Well, yesterday Samuel just said to us it wasn't the minority going to the court, but I think it's somebody they are supposedly supporting. But the story says minority in caucus in parliament is set to file processes at the Supreme Court for an interpretation on whether or not voters' ID cards can be used as proof of nationality for the registration and issuance of the Ghana card. The leader of the minority side, Haruna Idrisu, revealed this on Wednesday. He said the minority family believes that many Ghanaians will be denied the opportunity to register and be issued with a Ghana card since the NIA has limited the proof of citizenship to passport and birth certificates. He was speaking to the press in Parliament. He says they will continue their boycott of registration process in Parliament until a determination of the matter. Other angles to this story, Ghana card is, I mean, the issuance has started, but
Yes.
because of the minority's position.
There is an interesting artwork in the Daily Guide, though. Ghana card palaver. So, two people are climbing an electricity pole. One looks like Fifi Kwete, the other looks like Okujeto. And there is someone holding a card on the ground, says Ghana card. And he says, come and get it. And they say, no, we are not coming. We are climbing our family tree. So that's something to show that the minority are still not really working with the NIA on this Ghana card thing. But Bernard, on cards and related matters, the Ghana Immigration Service is launching a 5-year strategic plan, which is going to cost us some 473 million Ghana cedis. I think it's tied to our citizenship, people moving into the country and leaving and all that. So let me give you that story. The story says the Ghana Immigration Service has launched its second 5-year strategic plan to respond to evolving migration trends. The plan, which will serve as a blueprint for the development of the service over the next 5 years, identifies key challenges from the implementation of the previous plan and the damaging dynamics within the GIS work environment. Launching the plan in Accra yesterday, the Chief of Staff, Ms. Akosua Fremont Seopare, said it was time to meet the changing migration trends that had engulfed the continent. So that's the story.
Now, AJ, let me start with you, then I'll come to Kelny GVG because there's a new press release from the Minister of Communications. But let's go to the Times.
Still on launching and this time inauguration, the president has inaugurated a Ghana Beyond Aid committee. So the president has inaugurated a high-powered committee made up of top government ministers and technocrats to develop a charter with timelines for the attainment of government's Ghana Beyond Aid agenda. And in it, is being chaired by the senior minister, Yawasafo for some ministers such as the Minister of Finance, Minister of Employment, Labor Relations and Planning, and a few other representatives of various councils.
All right, so a couple of stories. My journal line, if telcos can protect information, Kelny GVG2 can. MP rubbishes breach of privacy concerns. This story says, claims of possible breach of the right to privacy in the controversial Kelny GVG traffic monitoring contract have been floored by legislator for Gomoa West, Alexander Abam. Mr. Abam says the same law that restricts the telcos from divulging personal information of subscribers can be invoked on Kelny GVG, assuming there is a possibility that the IT firm can access such private information during its real-time monitoring of calls. The lawyer and vice chairman of the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee of Parliament made these comments on current affairs program The Hard Truth, which aired on Wednesday on Multi TV. Now, the Communications Ministry's attempt to monitor call traffic in real time in a bid to increase its supervisory role on tax compliance has met stiff opposition from the telcos and some civil society organizations led by think tank Imani Africa. And the concerns are focused to a large extent on the possible breach of telco subscribers' fundamental human rights to privacy during traffic monitoring. Now, I have a statement signed by Mrs. Esla Owusu Ekufo, and the statement is quite long, but I'm just going a few portions. Update on the Common Monitoring Platform Connectivity Project. This statement is dated June 11, but we got it this morning. It says, further to my statement to Parliament on 31st May, in which I indicated that the deadline for all telcos to connect to the common platform was 6th June, I'm delighted to update you on progress so far made on connectivity. 1. All telcos were notified by NCA on the 11th of May of government's intention to establish the common platform. The Telecom Chamber later requested to meet the NCA to express some concerns they belatedly had, and the minister directed them to channel their concerns to her for redress. The MNOs ought to have gone to court if they had serious objections to the introduction of the CMP equipment, but chose dialogue with the regulator and the ministry. In that same spirit, the ministry accommodated and addressed their concerns. The meeting was held on 16th May, during which they indicated they were worried the proposed Kelnick GVG architecture would be intrusive. The minister assured them of full compliance with the law on protection of the content of customers' voice and data communication. Government is fully committed to the implementation of the CMP in compliance with our law and has made that clear to the mobile network operators. In this regard, following a meeting with them, I am happy to announce that they are all cooperating with the NCA, the GRA, and their contractors to implement the CMP. So the minister is reporting that following these meetings, she is happy to report that after meeting the chief executive officers of the telecom operators, she is happy to announce that they are all cooperating with the NCA, the GRA, and their contractors to implement the CMP. She goes on, physical installation of servers has been completed at various data centers of all the MNOs, and preparations towards testing and transmission are at various stages of completion. And then we hereby reiterate our full commitment to comply with the laws of Ghana in the implementation of the project. What is not mentioned here is the lawsuit filed by Maximus and Sarah Safweje, because they are going not on behalf of MNOs, they are going on the fact that human rights will be violated. So we don't know whether that has anything to do with what's going on, because she says that telco CEOs met her and they are fully cooperating and they connected their fiscal notes. More information on this later on, guys.
Okay, let's go to paperless clearing system. Page 12 of the Daily Heritage. Baumia announces reforms to paperless port clearing system. The story says that nearly a year after introducing the paperless port clearing system at all ports in Ghana, Vice President Mahamudu Baumia has announced sweeping reforms to the system as a result of what he calls a review of the paperless port policy by relevant stakeholders. Delivering a speech as a guest of honor at the 2018 Accra Mall Mobex Technology Expo on the theme, Enhancing Economic Prosperity Through Retail Technology and Financial Innovation, the Vice President said the reforms, which take effect from July 1, 2018, had become necessary because some persons within the import and export ecosystem are still influencing it through various human interventions to enrich themselves at the expense of the revenue of the state. According to Dr. Baumia, beginning from July 1, 2018, the number of inspection agencies, which currently stands at 16, will be reduced to 3, and it will comprise the Ghana Revenue Authority, Food and Drugs Authority, and the Ghana Standards Authority. All other agencies will be fused into the 3 main to carry out joint inspections. You know, there's an interesting story in the BNFT, AJ, that single window showcase on World Stage. Yes. So I find that interesting. So the story says Ghana was among over 75 countries who took part in this year's World Customs Organization ICT conference held in Lima, Peru. The conference, which had about 500 participants, gave Ghana an opportunity to showcase to the world how the country was implementing its national single window at its ports. The 3-day event, which was held from June 6 to 8, brought together customs of the world, including representatives of private sector international organizations, to find lasting solutions using new technology for the benefits of trade and international security. Now, West Blue Consulting, a Customs World Dubai company, one of the companies implementing Ghana's single window, explained to them how the system worked at the ports and measures put in place by Ghana's government to improve the system and enhance ease of doing business at the ports. Now, the paper then says many lauded Ghana for the successes so far chalked up the country since implementation of the single window and measures being put in place by government to make trade at Ghana's ports more efficient. Wow. So we showcase how 3 companies were running one window. It's amazing. It's credible.
Well, coming to the Ghanaian Times and going into financial allocation in the educational sector. So government through the Ministry of Education has increased the financial allocations of students enrolled on a student loan trust fund program by 50%. This is in fulfillment of the MPP's manifesto promise made in the lead up to the 2016 election.
Nice.
And a statement signed by the head of public relations at the ministry, Vincent Asafua, confirming the increase, indicated an amount of 38 million Ghana cedis has been disbursed as full payment to the National Commission for Tertiary Education for onward payments into the Principals Conference in respect to the College of Education's feeding, of which the Student Trust Loan Fund is part. So before this, it was 1,000 cedis and capped at 2,000 cedis directly. However, now it's been increased to 1,500 cedis and a maximum of 3,000 cedis has been
Now, there's a story on citynewsroom.com that I'm going to read reluctantly because a couple of papers lead with it, but I really find it sad that somebody's personal marital issue is making front pages. So our story says, divorce petition leak unfortunate, pray for us, Oyelitha. Story says, former Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Nana Oyelitha, is not enthused about the circulation of a divorce petition filed by her husband, lawyer Tony Litha. In a statement issued on Wednesday, she described as unfortunate the circulation of matters concerning her divorce in public. Now, documents of lawyer Tony Litha's petition for divorce with Nana Oyelitha leaked on Tuesday evening, sparking a lot of social media discussion over the possible reason for the breakup of the marriage. Now, what is sad is that this appears to have come from the courts. You see, because if I doubt it whether either of the two would have put this in the social media. So the nature of what is on social media are like photos somebody took with a phone of the divorce petition which was being shared, and I think it's really, really sad. We don't know who leaked it, but in this era of social media, I think certain kinds of information need to be protected. And I just don't know which agency you can complain to about leaking the information. You know, because the Daily Guide, for example, leads with the story about the divorce. The Statesman as well leads with that
on the front pages.
Newspaper.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a very and don't forget, Nana Oyelitha is our Mama of the Year.
Yeah.
We awarded her. This is just last month at the Citi FM Mama's Day of Honor, and all the things we said about her still stand. So it's just unfortunate that this has leaked, and then the papers are now giving different reasons why the divorce is going. So the statement by Nana Oyelitha, let me read it in full. In the past 24 hours, I have been overwhelmed by calls from friends and family expressing concern about the divorce petition filed by my husband. I would like to assure everyone that by the grace of God, I'm fine. Thank you for your prayer, support, and show of love. It's unfortunate that a private family matter should now become a subject of public discussion. Everyone who knows me and everything I stand for will know that the unfortunate allegations against me cannot be true. There is no doubt that these are trying times for my family, and I would like to count on your prayers, especially for our children. As a lawyer of 25 years standing, I have a firm belief in the legal system and in God Almighty to vindicate the truth. Thank you, signed, Nana Oyelitha. I think that even we in the media need to be responsible about what we publish.
Absolutely.
In the sense that it's not everything that interests the public is in the public interest. You get me? The fact that something is interesting, let it remain in Twitter and those places. But I don't know how this is valuable to the public to put somebody's divorce matter. I mean, I can't. People can just write what they want to write. But I think that when people put themselves out to be public people, it's not everything about them that we should be discussing in the public. We can have it as gossip, but to put it on the front page of a serious newspaper, I am not sure. I'm not sure I can do that. Especially
when there are little children involved.
Yeah, for me, this is all I'll do. I'll just read her statement, which she put out to correct the impression. But I think that it's not fair to the family to be discussing their divorce in public. Honestly, it's not.
Okay, Bernard, let's stay with the justice system. Daily Graphic, decriminalize petty crimes, justice sector stakeholders. The story says human rights activists and stakeholders in the justice sector have advocated that people who are involved in petty offenses should not be treated as criminals or made to face imprisonment. They want offenses such as petty stealing, unlawful entry, unlawful assembly, negligently causing harm, loitering, and the general nuisance to public order to attract non-custodial sentences. In pursuit of this goal, a research report dubbed Decriminalizing and Declassification of Petty Crimes in Ghana was launched in Accra yesterday.
I support it.
Key stakeholders in the human rights and justice sector, including the SHRAJ Commissioner, Mr. Joseph Withal, and a member of the Council of State, Mr. Samuel Okujeto, were present at the launch.
Kojo, we could use the labor of people who are involved in petty crime for productive use.
Yes.
We have an environment that needs cleaning.
Absolutely.
If we don't have enough people, we can join them. We can form a brigade to clean our beaches.
Exactly.
They will learn a thing or two about cleaning up the environment, and we can reintegrate them in society. Our prisons are choked. This one, we don't even need the World Bank or some EU to come and tell us. This one is common sense. So let's do it. I really support it.
Yeah.
And I endorse everything they've said in that program. Thank you guys for the newspaper review. It's some 3.5 minutes to 7. Coming up next is the Citi Business News.
Honey, I'm off to run some errands and pay the bill.
Total Excellium, the fuel that cleans your engine kilometer after kilometer.